Welcome to a space where we aim to empower and encourage all of our listeners to strive for inclusive excellence.
By hearing others' stories, we can bridge gaps across differences and value lived experiences to enhance our shared existence.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us again. I'm Selenthia.
And I'm Barb Hanson. We're excited to have you here with us today. We are continuing our series called Serendipitous Conversations, where we are interviewing individuals who attend our Serendipitous Sunday School Class with us.
As you've heard, we've chosen this series to honor Ann Struthers, who was one of our members in the Serendipitous Sunday School Class. She had tons of wisdom, and a lot of our members do as well. So we are interviewing Ute Adams today.
Welcome, Ute. Can you just share a little bit about yourself with us?
Sure. My name is Ute Adams. I was born in Essen, Germany, a couple of years ago. And when I was 5, my parents decided to immigrate to America. I turned 6 just a couple of weeks later. Started school that fall, not knowing any English. There was not like a emphasis on teaching me English, but luckily my teacher somehow knew German and stayed after class to teach me how to speak. They moved to Chicago. Chicago was too cold for them, so they moved to Arkansas, where my family still lives. I'm going blank now as to what to say.
You're okay.
I should have made notes.
No, this is fantastic. When we met Ute and engaged with her in Sunday school class, we always saw this sense of adventure and joy in you.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious how that experience of coming to the United States and moving around and learning a new language, how do you think that helped foster that sense of adventure in you?
Well, I think the sense of adventure comes from allowing me to be who I am, which I was not in my 30s and 40s. It was terrible. I ended up having to go to counseling because it's like if anything was out of place in my house or if things just weren't perfect, life was hard for me. So after I took Disciple 2, I don't know if you guys have that course here, but the thing that I remembered the most was Mother Teresa said, "See Jesus in everybody." And so I started to see Jesus in everybody, but I didn't see him in me. I was seeing everybody else. And as I was learning to accept people for who they are, it occurred to me, I'm in my 50s now, maybe I should just accept myself for who I am. And who I am is not probably who I projected I was in my 30s and 40s. So I do as I please. If it doesn't please me, I don't do it now.
I like that advice. It's something that as we're entering our 40s.
I'm 39.
Okay, well, as we're getting close to or early in our 40s, we've had a lot of conversations about the importance of being authentically who we are, to be who God made us to be. Right. And there's so much pressure from society to be perfect and how that is really unattainable. And we've been working through that.
We work on it so much that we no longer use that word because we understand that it's unattainable. We're always working for improvement, but we don't strive to be perfect.
Progress over perfection is the slogan in our house. So
yes.
I appreciate you also bringing light to going to therapy or
yes.
embracing counseling, because I think a lot of folks, there's stigma around that, especially in different generations. Like, how did you feel engaging or seeking out therapy? Was that hard for you, or was there any sort of struggle there?
Well, back then, I lived in the most beautiful place, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you guys ever been there, I lived literally in heaven, right? And I realized I needed to seek counseling because I got mad that my keys couldn't find my keys, and my little baby, who was maybe 8 months old at the time, looked at me like, "What is going on with you, Mom?" Because I was exploding over lost keys. So you open up the yellow pages and you're like, counseling, psychologist. And I found one that was affiliated with the church, and she was wonderful and made me realize just how hard I am on myself. And I don't know where that came from, probably just wanting to be a certain way. And that was the beginning. And I'm still in counseling, not every week now, because I lost my husband 5 years ago. He couldn't be found at the mall. No, I'm kidding. He passed from brain cancer, and he was my best friend, and we had so much fun together. So I'm glad for that time that I had with him. But anyway, I still go now, mainly because I still find myself with some of these old patterns that I have. You would think after 30 years you wouldn't have these patterns, but you do. And I catch them much quicker now. It's not 5 days later wondering why I'm so weepy. I know exactly what's happening. And anytime I feel this negative emotion, I just calm myself down. I ask for God's help to help me figure out what thought or what my belief is that is causing this negativity. And I usually get it. And most of the time it's because of a belief that I have about other people, like, oh, that person doesn't like me because they didn't say hi in the hallway, or well, I stay away from news too because that's depressing. And I get my news on NPR for the 5 minutes I drive home from here to home. I get all the big highlights, and that's all I need. So.
Well, you mentioned, about mental health and why it's important to kind of check in. On our podcast, we talk about this all the time. We rave about it. I have a therapist. Our son has a therapist. She has a therapist.
I go twice a week.
She goes twice a week. I go once. However, we stress this because, again, those coping skills that you're talking about, being able to regulate self, we still struggle with that. I mean, again, like I said, I'm 26, and I have not figured it out. Our soon-to-be 8-year-old is learning these things so that by the time he gets to be my age, or hers, he will have it together. So those are the things. So we commend people who have taken that journey in their mental health and self-health, and to be self-aware of those things.
Yes.
And I think about when we're talking about mental health and emotions and feelings, can you take us to 6-year-old you, what it really felt like not knowing the language and coming to a new country? How did you feel during that period of time?
I felt like I was outside the store looking into the window, and everybody was having this wonder, probably like Facebook feels today, how everybody's showing their wonderful vacations and their dinners out, and it's like, wow, they're having a great life, and here I am, all alone. If I want to go out, I have to go by myself. 6-year-old Ute was scared, and she hid behind her mother's skirts. And when I met Chuck, so 17-year-old Ute was still scared, and I hid behind him. He was great because he had a really good outgoing personality, so he's introducing, and he had a cool job. He was an air traffic controller. I was a bank auditor, boring. And so he would meet everybody, and I'm like, hi. And then eventually I was able to step out and go, hey. Well, that stopped 5 years ago. And I remember my first day here at St. Paul's, I was so scared that nobody would like me because I'm loud and I laugh too much. And, I kind of say how it is, and I think a lot of people have trouble with that.
Oh, I love it. All I see when I see you is light and joy. And so I fully embrace all of Ute, not hiding behind anyone.
Well, and know that when I'm where I'm at, I only say yes to things that I like. So, when I say yes to committees and such like that, you can bet that I want to be there.
Well, I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
yes.
I was a little scared because I'm thinking, my grandkids are going to probably see this, and I want them to be proud of Grandma, not, go, oh my gosh.
Of course, they will be.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about them. I know that you are very proud of your grandchildren.
Yes.
So,
well, we moved here 5 years ago, or 5.5 now. We moved here, I'm lucky, you guys, both my sons live here in Cedar Rapids.
Congratulations.
Now, if you would have told me 10 years ago I was going to be living in Iowa, I would have laughed, because we were going to retire to Colorado Springs. That's where I wanted to be. Anyway, both the kids are here. Chuck was in his final, because he died 8 months after I moved here. Both the kids are here. I had a grandson who was 2 and then one just born when Chuck passed. And they literally helped me that year. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would have done. It took a year. I decided I'm going to join the world now. I'm going to release myself upon the world. I felt strong enough. And then 3 days later, COVID hit, and I found St. Paul's online and was worshiping with you guys, even though you didn't know I was there. I never said anything. And I decided then, it took about, I don't know, when was it, like 21? I think I joined 2 years ago, so that would have been 22. So yeah, the summer of 21 I came, and everybody was so friendly. Oh, grandkids, that's what you want to be doing. Yeah. They were, Tony, my oldest, called and said, hey, you mind if the bigs, because there's 3, so the bigs are the oldest in the middle, and the littles are the middle and the youngest. So the bigs came over, and we had so much fun. I mean, we went on a trail walk behind my house. We went to this mysterious little path that they wanted to see. I mean, it was just, we just have one adventure after another, and I just, like I said, if it wasn't for them, they're the light of my life. If it wasn't for them, I don't know.
Beautiful.
Yes. Before we wrap up, we're dedicating this to Ann Struthers. Do you have any impact or memory stories?
Yeah, you know, I'm bummed that I only knew about her for maybe, I think it's a year and a half, maybe 2. And I just loved when she spoke, because she spoke with such kindness and graciousness, and what she said was hard sometimes. It's like, huh. I love it when I go, huh, when somebody says something, because I know I'm going to think about it and have to digest it later, you know.
Yes,
But she was a lovely person. And by the way, I didn't know she was a doctor, and I didn't know that she was Superwoman, as far as, because I learned this at the funeral. Superwoman, getting up early, writing, preparing a huge breakfast. I mean, I'm lucky to I gave my kids cereal.
Right. And she was working, getting her education, all of it.
Yeah, she was a super gal, and I wish I could have known her better.
Absolutely. Before we go, do you have any last bits of wisdom or advice that you would like to share with our listeners?
I would say, find Jesus in everybody. Accept people for who they are, where they're at, because you just don't know. None of us know what another person's going through, even if they seem happy outside. You see me as, happy, but I tell you, they're 10 o'clock at night and I'm alone and I can't explain something that I'm excited about to anybody, because there's my dog. Okay, never mind. I talk to my dog.
Ute, I just want to say again, thank you for sharing your experiences and stories. We really do cherish those.
We'll have to have you back again, because I know there's more stories for you to share.
Until next time.
Take care.
Be sure to come back as we continue to explore lived expertise.
Also, follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok as Shared Existence LLC.